The Trains of the Past, Part 2. Written and read for you by Emily Z.
Ever heard of a saying that goes something like, just rip off the band-aid, the faster you do it, the less it hurts? Well, that's exactly the situation I'm in, and I can't believe I'm doing this. Of course I want to go back on the trains to the past. Of course I want to meet all the different timelines of me. Of course I want to be able to see my future. Of course I want to know what's going to happen next. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm about to jump onto a moving train. I take a deep breath. Now. I step forward, then step back. Okay then, now. Now? I sigh. I just can't get up my courage. The last time it happened, it was an accident. Although it was pretty much my brother's fault. But who doesn't want to go aboard a flying train? Yes, I'm Laura, and according to myself, the luckiest girl in the world. I have been on a flying train. It happened one day when I was visiting my best friend with my family. I fell into a train and met different versions of me, went to different places I'm going to go to in the future, and the train itself is even more amazing. The train whistle blasts through my thoughts. Great. Just what I want to be reminded of. Let's go, calls a young voice. The train seems to be slowing down. It is. The train is stopping. A hand pops out of the train car and yanks me inside. William, a voice scolds as soon as we're inside. You're not supposed to stop the train for any reason. I know, Grandpa. Sorry, but she looked too scared to jump in, so... The answering voice trails off. Wait, scared? Me? I wasn't scared, I protest, jumping to my feet. Oops. The ceiling is so low I bump my head the minute I stand up to my full height. I yelp in pain and hear giggles coming from my right. I also hear an impatient sigh that comes from my left. As I sit back down, I realize that this isn't the familiar train car I landed in last time. It looks completely different. Why is it different? I don't like different. Who are these two people? There's a young boy looking up at me. He has blonde hair and bright blue eyes, just like the man standing next to him. The boy looks barely 6 or 7 years old. The man is about my grandfather's age, and I'm sure I've seen him somewhere. Wasn't he wearing a red uniform before? His uniform is now deep navy blue. His hair is streaked with gray, and there's a sparkly pin on his uniform. I'm William, the little boy introduces right on cue, although I guess you already know that due to the massive amounts of scolding and screaming my grandfather has produced. He sounds so, I don't know, formal and grown up, that I don't know what to say for a moment. Instead, I hold out my hand, waiting for him to take it. William stares quizzically at it for a moment, then whispers very loudly to his grandfather, "What do I do?" His grandfather replies, "Shake your hand, grandson." Okay, William chirps happily and grabs my hand in both of his, shaking it vigorously up and down. All right, that's quite enough, Will," his grandfather says, cutting William off mid-shake. His voice sounds familiar, too. Oh, he's the conductor who woke me up last time. He's also the person who called me little girl, but let's forget about that for now. For now. I need to show you the control room, William calls, running deeper into the dark room. Huh, reminds me of someone I know. An annoying someone. A little brother someone. The little brother I'm supposed to be watching right now. Wait, I shout after William. I need to be watching my brother. That's William for you, the conductor informs me. Nice to meet you, I say, and offer him my hand. He shakes it a lot more gently than his grandson did. We have decided to give you an official tour of the trains of the past, the conductor announces proudly, throwing open his arms. Or at least William did. He ushers me into a densely lit room barely bigger than the first. The walls and even the ceiling are covered with buttons, levers, controls, and other things I don't know the name of. And you've probably been wondering from your recent trip aboard this train how it flies through the air, William continues, busily flipping switches and turning knobs. How old is this boy? He's about to pull another lever when the conductor stops him. He points to the one next to the lever William was about to pull, and he nods. Okay, Grandpa. Anyway, this train uses an invention I've invented. He puffs up his chest proudly, and his grandfather sighs. The invention is... William pauses. Something I don't know the name of. I laugh. But it works really goodly, William adds. Well, the conductor corrects. Well, whatever. It crystallizes the air particles around the train and allows the trains of the past to travel through the air. It feels the exact same, but it's totally different.
My eyes widen in shock. Seriously, what are you, 7? I ask William. He turns to look at me and raises his chin before answering. 8.5. I shake my head in disbelief. Oh, and Laura, is that your name? Come look at this. He hurries down the long hallway and I follow. I still don't get how it works, I say to William. Oh, it's easy, he replies over his shoulder. The train crystallizes air particles, like I said before, but that also depends on the weather. If it's raining, the particles are weaker and you'll feel like you're sitting on a giant bag filled with water. When it's stormy, we can't even travel. And the best weather is when there are no clouds. The clouds are always stealing the particles that I need and sucking them into the big white blobs in the sky known as clouds. What do you want? Will asks when we're in what appears to be a bedroom. This bedroom is lit up because of at least 8 windows. A child-sized bed sits in a corner and papers are scattered across a wooden desk. What do you mean? I say. I mean, what do you want me to get? When I don't answer, his brow furrows. All right then, go stand over there. William walks over to a wall and stands in front of a machine in the shape of an arcade game. I do, and before I know it, pink swirls are appearing in the air, like tiny pink Legos being stacked on top of each other to form... I gasp as my hair falls loose and William plucks the headband out of the air. My headband. He tosses it back to me and I clumsily catch it before it hits the ground. How did you do that? I demand. Nice headband, he comments. And that is a secret, but of course it's also one of my inventions. Is William about to become the next Einstein? Hey, a deep voice says. A boy's, well, a teenager's head pops up from one of the massive rooms. Bring strangers into our train, I see. That's me, Will explains to me. But I'm the one who invented all this. The teenager, William, interrupts. By the way, I'm Future Willie, but he likes to take credit for it anyway. Future William points at present William. Let me show you one of my inventions. One that little Will doesn't know about. Future William whispers to me. He grabs my arm and tugs me into his room. Sit right here, he says, gesturing to a chair. I do, and he fastens what looks like a seatbelt over my body. You may be familiar with our system of transportation, Future William continues. You know, letting them jump float out of the train. But we recently decided that it wasn't exactly safe for our passengers, so this is what I've invented. He smiles at me and says, Get ready to go home. At first, I feel nothing. Then, an electric tingling, starting from my fingers and working its way up to the rest of my body. This continues until it feels like my skin is on fire. Then I feel myself floating into the air. Wait, no, the seatbelt's still there. How is that possible? Suddenly, it's like my body has turned into an elastic band, being stretched, then being released, snapping back into shape. The room begins to turn hazy, and I can hear Future William's voice saying calming things to me, although I can't make out the words. Everything sounds like when it does when you're about to fall asleep. Everything kind of fades away. Epilogue. Wow, my little brother Max says. You're a hide-and-seek expert! I blink my eyes, looking around the dark closet. Then everything rushes back to me. The train, Future William, falling asleep. Did I fall asleep? Oh, thanks, I say, pretending I hadn't just been on a flying train, then got teleported to my house. What game are we playing next? I look down at the necklace with the blue rose jewels hanging from it. I love wearing it, even though no one else knows how important it is. It feels like wearing proof of my journey, proof that the train to the past exists. It looks the same as it always does, only this time the accessory is glowing. A very faint glow, so dim I can barely see it, but I'm sure it's there, and glowing brighter with each passing second. Bright blue, as pale as the cloudless sky, but hints of dark blue as well, as deep and dark as the ocean. Glowing and flashing patterns I don't understand. Is it Morse code? Who would send me a coded message? What does it mean? Or is it just one of Max's pranks? I turn away because now staring into it is like staring into a flashlight, flashing faster and faster, brighter and brighter. The end. Thank you for listening. I hope you have enjoyed The Train to the Past Part 2. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with family and friends. Part 3 coming soon.